grown and produced in South Carolina, we all know is much, much more finer. Watson Dorn, you with Hickory Hill Farm, nestled right between Saluda and Edgefield, South Carolina, located on Highway 378. Why is locally grown and produced milk much finer in South Carolina than the milk that comes from out of state?
All the milk that we bottle is produced right here on our farm. Milk is a wonderful product. We just think ours is a little better. It's produced right here, bottled right here, and our milk travels about 1/4 of a mile from the dairy to the milk plant, and then we deliver to customers all over South Carolina.
Well, I think you just emphasized an important fact, and that's distance, because distance really is a direct correlation with quality, isn't it? All this milk coming in from the Midwest, it's got to travel much further, and they really have to keep a close eye on quality.
Yes, sir. In South Carolina, we produce less than 20% of our fluid needs. So most of our milk that's consumed in South Carolina has been on a truck for many hours, traveling from Ohio or Michigan or West Texas or whatever destination to South Carolina.
Well, let's focus on Hickory Hill Farm, because your milk is produced right here in the Palmetto State, is marketed in the Palmetto State, and you've got a kind of a unique situation because you're basically focusing on 3 different types of milk. Tell us about them.
Well, we produce whole milk, we produce chocolate milk, and we produce buttermilk. We culture our buttermilk a lot longer than most other people do, and it'll actually have little flakes of butter in it. And a lot of the older people, they say it brings back childhood memories. We do a low temperature pasteurization that preserves the good bacteria in milk, but we do not homogenize the milk, which is where the fat molecule is broken down. So the cream rises to the top in our milk, and it's a lot healthier product for you.
And of course, we all know that this good chocolate milk doesn't come from a brown cow, does it?
That's right, that's right. We do get that question quite a bit.
Okay, I want you to take us through the process of this milk very quickly, because I think it's important for our audience to understand exactly how we ensure quality milk in South Carolina. We have to really take some important steps in terms of changing temperatures and refrigeration so it'll be fresh when it arrives at the consumer.
We take a lot of care in producing a good quality raw product, because you know, the guys at the barn as well as myself, we really want a really good raw product. That way we'll have a good finished product. We transport the milk down here immediately after we get through. The milk that we're having our hands right here was in the cow this morning. We got through milking at 5 o'clock, and by 9 o'clock it's in a jug. We take a lot of pride in that. When it comes to the milk plant, it's still at 36 degrees. We heat the milk up to 145 degrees. We do a low temperature vat pasteurization, which preserves the good bacteria that's naturally occurring in milk. That kind of helps with your digestive system. After we pasteurize our milk at that temperature for 30 minutes, we try to cool it down real quick. We do it with a little bit different twist on a heat exchanger.
Well, you mentioned cooling this milk down. Now, traveling through your plant, I noticed an old Clemson College sticker on this particular piece of equipment.
Right.
I know you didn't go to Clemson College. You went to Clemson University.
I graduated Clemson University in 1984, and I actually found most of our bottling equipment in a guy in Arkansas. And when we went to visit with him to look at the equipment, he said, "Now, didn't you tell me you finished Clemson?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, I got one piece of equipment that needs to go back home." And that was a heat exchanger.
Well, I want to talk about antibiotics, because a lot of people are very sensitive about antibiotics in cows. Y'all don't use any antibiotics on your cows, is that correct?
We do not feed any antibiotics. If we've got a cow that needs treatment for mastitis or any other infection, we segregate that cow from the herd. She is treated just like I would treat my child if my child got an infection that needed antibiotics. But that milk never makes it to the milk tank. That's discarded or fed to baby calves.
Watson, a lot of people don't realize that agriculture and history go hand in hand here in the Palmetto State, because we've got some farms that existed before the Revolutionary War, and Hickory Hill Farms is one of them. Tell us about this history.
Our farm has been in our family since 1764, and we've researched it back and found tracked generation after generation all the way back and we've got a copy of the land grant. I was very fortunate to come back to a farm that was established by my grandparents and milking cows here, and then my mother and my father, and they're still very active in the farm. I hope I can pass it on to another generation.
Well, Watson, I know we've got some people who'd like to find out more about Hickory Hill Farms. It's certainly a unique agricultural operation in the Palmetto State, and we're very proud of what you and your family do, and it is a family operation. When's the best time for them to reach you when you aren't up 2 o'clock in the morning milking cows and also 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
They can reach me on my cell phone. I keep it on me all the time. That number is 803-275-6141. And I'd also invite people to go to our website. It's www.hickoryhillmilk.com.
Well, I want to make a toast to you, your family, Hickory Hill Farms, and also the local produce and products we have in South Carolina, because it's always finer.
Thank you. Thank you for visiting.